Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Whether you're just starting out or scaling up, this is your space to connect, learn, and grow alongside a community of trailblazing women who, just like you, they are making their mark in the world of business. From personal branding to powerhouse marketing, from leadership to lifestyle tips, we've got you covered. So get ready to ignite your passion, fuel your purpose, and unlock your potential with Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. Let's make this journey together and turn your entrepreneurial dreams into reality. Hey guys, welcome back to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, where we celebrate powerful women who are trailblazing their way to success. Today, we're thrilled to have a special guest with us. You know what? She is your go-to digital marketing maven who's built an incredible agency dedicated to empowering women entrepreneurs to harness the power of digital marketing, expand their influence, and achieve their business goals. From strategy to execution, she's got you. She's helped countless women elevate their brand and scale their business to way new heights they never expected. Get ready for an inspiring conversation filled with action, insight, and game-changing advice just for you. Let's dive in with the visionary founder behind Maverick Marketing, Mimi Sheffer.
It's so nice to see you. Of course, we're old friends. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. I hope I can live up to it.
You can, trust me. I know that for sure.
You're so sweet, Angel. I love you.
So, first off, can you just tell us a little bit what you got you into actually digital marketing and with your journey basically as an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. I worked in corporate America for a long, long time. And when I was expecting my second child, I was just exhausted. I worked in sales, so not just corporate America, but sales. So super high pressure. I worked for a retirement community, entry fee sales. So, you're talking about $100,000 to $500,000 entry fee and a monthly fee of like $3,000 to $7,000. So we're talking high pressure sales. And it was just a lot being pregnant. And so I was looking for an exit strategy. And I had been looking for an exit strategy for a long time. So I dived into photography because I was pregnant. I thought, oh, it would be great to be able to photograph babies and children. And I very quickly realized that getting them to stand still is not going to work. So it was kind of a navigating course to try and figure out what worked for me. I was in network marketing for about 10, 11 years and loved the teamwork, loved the empowerment and the encouragement. When you have a great team together, everything really flows. They become your friends and your family. But I didn't necessarily love the aspect of selling in network marketing. And so I found digital marketing and I have absolutely loved it. I started my digital marketing journey with quotes, social media quotes, because I've always been a huge fan of social media since 2008 when I signed on my first social media account with Mr. Zuckerberg. I have been a huge fan of the platform and the theory behind the platform, keeping in touch with people, inspiring people, motivating people. And so my digital marketing journey began when I created quote images. I'm a quote person. I always have been. And so I loved creating quotes to sell, to use, and to motivate and inspire people. So that's where I started. And now I'm in courses and PLR, private label rights, and MRR, master resale rights courses. My goal is basically to empower women so that they have a choice, that they don't have to sit in a cubicle. They don't necessarily have to be in a corporate job or in a job that drains them. I want to give them, empower them, and give them options to live their life free from whatever choices used to be mandatory for moms and wives and workers, right? We only had a few choices. The world is very different today, and digital marketing basically allows us to live life on our own terms. And that is a beautiful concept. And it's a beautiful life. And so I love giving women that option.
Wow, that is amazing. You're so true. I mean,
Uh,
yeah, it's such a true statement. So giving them the option and actually helping them with digital marketing, correct?
yes,
So
yes, absolutely.
explain the whole process that people go through with you for
Mhm.
with digital marketing.
Well, they typically start with, let me back up just a little bit. My biggest obstacle, my biggest challenge in the digital marketing space was the technology. It used to be back in the olden days, just a handful of years ago, that you needed to have an email system. You also had to have a storehouse like a Kajabi to house your courses. You needed a delivery system. You needed all these different systems, and you had to zap them together. You had to connect them, but they were all different systems. And so you needed a tech background, a technology background, or you needed to hire someone, and you needed to understand how it all worked, or you were in jeopardy of having things break. So my biggest challenge this whole time was the technology. And I finally found a platform that gives me everything I need in one space. I have a CRM, I have a built-in platform to house my courses, I have an integrated email system. So everything in one place has been life-changing and game-changing for me. And so when someone signs on with me, they basically buy a course to understand how to use the platform that I'm using. Then I help them integrate into the platform, and then they can either create their own courses, which we all have genius inside of us, right? And so creating a course that shares your genius with the world is entirely possible, and we make it super easy. Or you can start selling courses that other people have produced. So the funnels are integrated. There's even a text platform integrated into all of this. So it really does take the power and the mystique away from, all of those old time traditional systems where only the Russell Brunsons of the world could really understand how it worked. And it puts that power, the power of technology, in the hands of everyday people like you and me, and
Wow.
allows them to create, a business that is sustainable. And it creates passive income. There's nothing greater than getting paid for multiple times for a course that you create once. So I'm very, very excited about this new platform, and it's been a game changer for me. I've had it for just over a year, and it's changed my life.
Wow. So you're going to tell us how to get in touch with you later and stuff,
Yeah,
but yeah, and so we can find out how we can actually get the course and everything to learn this
yeah,
platform. Okay, I'm excited.
perfect. Truly, truly. I mean, I have worked with, a number of coaches and a number of different master classes, and I was always hiring someone to help me with the technology, with the background and the back end. And when something broke, I didn't have the skills or the knowledge or the expertise to fix it. And so then you have to hire someone on an emergency basis to go in, and it's exhausting, and it almost broke my willingness and my ambition to do this. And so finding something that makes it easy to get to the part that I really like, which is the creative part and which is the empowering part, not being stuck in that left brain technology abstract part that my brain just does not like. And I'd rather spend my time doing the part and the things that excite me and invigorate me and empower me to empower other women, because truly, when you get out of that box of traditional corporate work or part-time work, and you have the option to work whenever, wherever you want, and you're able to create courses, you're able to take the genius out of your brain and put it down on paper, or video and share it with other people. That changes the game. And life is about options. And so this allows people to have options.
And I love the fact that you'll have it in your own hand. You're not
Yes.
trying to hand it off to somebody else, because when you're trying to hand it off to somebody else to do, you have to wait.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
not that
Well,
patient.
that's what's so amazing about this program that I use, that I'm an affiliate for. They have 24-hour, 24/7 tech service. So if you get stuck, they recognize that they have people all over the world and on very different schedules. So if you have a question in the middle of the night, you can get it answered. And that there's nothing better in the world than being able to, when you are ready and you're sitting at your computer and you run into a challenge, you can get it resolved right away and move on. So that doesn't have to be a stopper. It doesn't have to be something that blocks you from success. You can get it done right away. I've never seen anything like it.
Awesome. I love it. Because that is the thing that holds so many female entrepreneurs back, because they feel that they have everything in place. And
Mhm.
you've just come full circle and made it super simple for them.
Yes, yes. I wish I could take credit for it. I cannot. It's not my system. I found it, and it's just been the tool that's changed my life. And, this is something I've wanted for so long. I understood the power of digital marketing. I've worked with a number of coaches who've had huge digital marketing careers and successes, and I wanted that for myself. I wanted to give my children things that I wasn't able to give them before. And so it's been a game changer, and there's nothing better than realizing you do have the power, kind of like, Glinda the Good Witch telling Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, you had the power all along. You really do. You just have to find the tools and the systems that help you find the power within yourself and harness that power.
And that is such a true statement, because so many times, I know it personally, me. I
Mhm.
mean, I think I've tried 10 different systems already.
Right?
And
Yes.
I'm still like, I still have probably one or two that would work totally perfect if I'm willing to dive in and just do those. But
Mhm.
none of them make me super happy and do backflips yet.
Yeah, and connecting, your email system with your text platform and your online store, it's a lot. And if something goes wrong, your funnel, your system, is no longer working. And so you've gone to all this work and this effort to put it out there. And if it's not representing you and it's not operable, you're going to lose sales, and you may not even realize those parts are broken. So this is all in one, and it really does simplify your life. Which is the goal, right? I mean, the whole goal of this is to give you options and simplify your life so you're not constantly working. And I know that, as an entrepreneur, we can work 24/7. We are always hustling. We are always grinding. And so to get out of that grind and have those options and have a simpler life and simpler income stream, just amazing.
And to have something work for you behind the scenes that you
Yes.
have confidence in, to know
Yes.
that it's going to work. And if there
Mhm.
is a little snap, glitch,
Snafu.
craziness, you can
Right.
actually go in and pick up the phone and call somebody and get a live person. Is that right?
It's online tech support, but
Okay.
they have called me before. And sometimes they will even do a Loom video. They'll fix it for me, and then they will send me the video so I'm empowered to then learn how to do it myself.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's
And
incredible.
and your course teaches how to work through the whole program.
Yep, it sure does.
Awesome. That's
Whether you want to just install the system and work with the system, or whether you want to branch out and create your own courses, I've got you covered. I have courses for all of that. I also have courses on learning AI to harness that. So you don't have to necessarily create the same path that I'm on. If you are an entrepreneur and you just want to learn how to harness the power of artificial intelligence, and use Chat GPT more effectively. So it always speaks in your voice. I have a course for that. I have a course if you already have a system that you really like and you just need help understanding the power of funnels and setting up funnels. I have a course for that. So I have a number of different courses that can empower you to do what you're already doing, but do it better, 10x your power with these courses.
And what's the website? I usually do this at the end, but we're here. What's the website that they can go to actually
My
learn?
website is themimisheffer.com, and it's TheMimisheffer, themimisheffer.com.
I like it. Thank you.
Simple.
So, okay, I'm
Yeah.
going to transition a little bit because
Sure.
you're a mom. How
Mhm.
old are your children?
My daughter is 12 and my son is almost 17.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
it happened in a flash.
and you started as an entrepreneur, right? Just basically when the 12-year-old was born.
When I was pregnant with her, that's when I started this latest, but I have always been an entrepreneur. Long before we ever had children, I was making cigar box purses and selling them in high-end retail stores in St. Armand's down in Sarasota. I was making home decor and selling them in high-end home decor stores, accessories, topiaries and things like that. So I have always been compelled to create. And for a long time, I did it in, kind of a visual arts product sense. So when I was pregnant with Catherine, I really was looking for an out. And that's how I came to find digital marketing through that long, winding trail of finding things that worked. And so, yeah, I've been an entrepreneur since then for the past 12 and a half years.
Wow. So with that, the past 12 and a half years, the children have gone through different stages, correct?
Yes.
How did you balance or work while they were small? I know. Isn't this a great question?
It is a
Nobody-
great question. When Kate was a baby, I was so thrilled to have her home with me. So I would bounce her on my knee and work, and then I lived for nap times when she would take a nap in her swing, or I could put her down and have, a couple of hours of uninterrupted time. But that's about the only balance I've ever gotten. I mean, honestly, as an entrepreneur, you just make it work. I know this is not healthy, and you and I have both had a mentor and a coach who encouraged us to get up super early. My brain just does not function super early in the morning. I'm a late night person, and so oftentimes my kids will go to bed. My phone, I notice I'm much more productive after 9, 10 o'clock when my phone, the notifications aren't pinging constantly. And I will often work until 1, 2, sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's peaceful, it's quiet, and I am so productive. I don't make a regular habit of that. But when I really have to get something done, meeting some deadlines, I wait until everybody's in bed and asleep and peaceful, and then I can really plow through and get things done. So there's no real balance. On the beginning end of an entrepreneurial career, you can just throw that out the window. I have always felt a tremendous sense of guilt, like I'm not doing enough for my business, I'm not doing enough for my children, I'm not taking care of my house, I'm not cooking enough, my house is a disaster. There's always guilt, and you just have to let it go. Because one of my favorite quotes is, you can live like other people live, or you can work and grind and live like other people only dream of living. Now, that's not quite as succinct and beautifully illustrated as the person who originated that quote. But, if you work really, really hard, then you can live like other people only dream of living. And that's my goal, to be able to take my kids on adventures and trips. And I'm putting in the time now so that I have the opportunity to do that later.
I love that. That is so true. Putting in the time now so you have the opportunity to do it later.
Yeah.
That's it. Build it and nurture it and
Yes.
make it have feel like the baseball. theme, build a new.
Build them, they will come. I saw a great reel today that reiterated that so beautifully. He said most people are consumers. They consume movies, they consume TV shows, they'll binge watch an entire series. And the billionaires, the millionaires, the elite of the world are producers. So instead of binging an entire season, sit down and get some work done so that it pays you later on and so that your time is multiplied. And there's nothing more beautiful than being able to watch a movie knowing that you're still making money because you've put in the time and the work.
Yeah.
Nothing good ever comes easy. And so once you put in the time and the effort, then you can go do all those other things. But doing them now, without building, without putting in the focus and effort to build something that will pay you, that is your safety net, you know, you're wasting time, you're wasting effort. And as Buddha says, the thing is, you think you have time, you really don't have the time. Anything can happen. So do it now. Live your dream, make your dream come true now. Put in the time, the work, the effort, the focus, and the grit. And just, you'll be so glad you did.
Yeah. I love the fact that you brought up that some of us are more productive in the evenings.
Yes.
That phone has to be quiet because I get calls all day long
Yes.
and I know nobody's going to pick up that phone and call me from probably 8:30 to
Mm-hmm.
1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So
Right?
you're like the most productive.
Yes.
And I know, I mean, I don't want to say that, but it is. I'm the most productive. And
Yeah.
yeah, so can I do that? Because my body just allows me to. And some people, it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
can I wake up at 6 or 7? Yes, I still can
Yeah.
wake up at 6 and 7 because that's who I am. I'm a little over the top. If you're not over the top, I get it. You need your sleep.
Yes.
Wake up
I
early.
find that my neurons just don't fire well early in the morning. And I tried to be a morning person and I admire and respect people who are. But when I am in the flow, whether it's in the morning, in the middle of the day, or at night, I just try not to stop that flow. I'm lucky enough to be able to work from home. And so I can kind of set my own schedule. If I have a late night and I need to sleep in the next morning, then I do it. So that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. You can set your own hours, but it's really important to find what works for you. Because if you try and fit a square peg in a round hole and incorporate what somebody else is doing and try and make it work for you, your body, your mind is going to tell you whether or not that operating system works for you. And for a long time, I tried to do what worked for other people, and I found that I was miserable and it wasn't working for me. And so once I allowed myself to find my own flow and go with my own flow, then things became a lot easier.
You're saying that it's the same thing with finding the niche as an entrepreneur too,
Yes. Yes.
because doing what somebody else does is not what's going to be maybe good for you. I know that's true for me.
Absolutely. And I think the mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make is they try and talk to everybody. I want to talk to everybody. Well, when you talk to everybody, nobody's listening. But if you niche down and talk to your people, then not only are they able to identify themselves when you're speaking and resonate with what you're saying, but you're also talking to a wider audience. So niching down is something that a lot of entrepreneurs are afraid to do. They might dip their toe in the pool of niching and pull back because it feels a little scary to talk to just one person. But once you do it, you realize that your message is a lot more powerful and it reaches the people that it needs to reach.
100%. And I think you deal mostly with women as well, correct?
I do. I deal with some men, and I will help anyone because this is about empowering families, right? My goal is to empower people so that they can spend more time with their families. Um, sometimes men do resonate with what I say, and I will absolutely work with them. I've had a number of male clients, but group that's close to my heart is working moms, is women who are struggling to figure out how to get it all done without, having a nervous breakdown. Figuring out how to set up an income stream so that they don't have to clock in and clock out of a job that doesn't fulfill them and takes them away from their family, from their children.
Yeah, that's what happened to you. So yeah,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
definitely resonate with that 100%. I love it. I love it. All
Yeah.
right. If you had a superpower for one day,
Mhm.
what would it be?
Oh, what a great question. I think if I could do anything, I'd want to be lightning fast, because so much can get done if you have the power to do it quickly. I find that sometimes my kids will come home from school and have to stop what I'm doing, and getting back to it is really difficult, and getting back in that state of flow. So if I had a superpower for one day, it would be to be mega fast, like lightning speed, so I could get everything done and just, you know, tie the knot, tie the bow, and have it done and working in, a day. That would be great.
Where's Mimi?
I know, right? Like fast forward, right? When they film something at 10 times speed, that's what I envision myself. Yeah, exactly. I would love to be super fast.
What would you go back and tell your 18-year-old self? What you've learned so far?
Do it. Don't be afraid of it. What you want, what the life of your dreams can be yours, but you've got to step out. You've got to focus on it and step out in front of your fear and do it anyway. Like, listen to your inner voice, listen to that calling, that whisper that you have, and just go for it. Because what is the worst thing that can happen? You can fail. And failure, I mean, the traditional model of work is that failure is bad. And I love the fact that the founder of Spanx, her family normalized failure. So every night at dinner, they had to talk about what they failed at that day, because you can't reach success without failure. And I think that's a misnomer. I think a lot of us think, I tried and failed, so I'm not going to try again. Failure is absolutely necessary. It's a stepping stone. And if we branch out into any kind of challenge, any kind of adventure, be it business or working out or diet or healthy living or parenting. If we stopped every time we failed, we would never get anything done. So if we can change our lens and look at failure as a stepping stone, as a lesson, instead of a stop sign, I think we'd all be so much better off.
I agree with that 100%. I look at everything that doesn't go perfect for me is what is that lesson I had to learn?
Yes. And it's hard in the moment, right? Because failure sucks. It hurts. It wounds us deeply. But we've learned that. So if we can unlearn that and we can say, oh, I failed. That did not work the way I wanted it to. What went wrong? If we could immediately go to that frame of mind instead of, oh, I failed. I must not be cut out for this. I must not be smart enough. And that's the default setting for so many of us. We've got to reframe that. And I think once a person can reframe that, then they are much more capable of achieving mind blowing success.
Yeah, so like what worked, what didn't work, and what can we learn from it? I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like I'm Steve Jobs. That's what he did all the time.
Right. Absolutely. And Elon Musk, what didn't work? He basically, I was watching a documentary on him just a couple of days ago, and his first three rockets blew up. They barely had enough money for that fourth rocket, and they got it together, and that is the rocket that put SpaceX on the map. Basically, their first three attempts were complete and utter failures, and they hobbled together pennies and nickels, stringing them along, right, to put them together in order to make that fourth launch work. And that fourth launch, heartbroken and sick and worried about failing and, this dream dying, that fourth launch is what brought that dream to life. And so you've got to keep trying. Success is there. It's how much grit you have to get to it.
I love grit. You gotta
I do
have the
too.
grit.
Gritty is the new pretty is one of my favorite quotes. Gritty is the new pretty. How
I,
much grit do you have, right? I mean,
oh
how
my God.
deep can you? I know. I saw that on a t-shirt. I'm like, that is so amazing. How much grit do you have? How big is the well of perseverance you have? How deep can you go and pull yourself out of that rut of feeling like I can't do this? You've got to establish grit, you've got to create grit, you've got to pull yourself out of that well of self-pity and get up and do it again.
Oh my God. Love it, love it, love it. With that, what is your favorite book?
Oh my goodness. The Buddha and the Badass is by Vishen Lakhiani is a great book. So that's my favorite business book. One of my personal my favorite personal book was Gone with the Wind. Is Gone with the Wind. I've read it, I don't know, 10, 12, 14 times. I don't know. I saw the movie when I was a little girl. And it was the first time I'd ever seen a powerful woman. And she just was unapologetic, not always likable. I mean, she definitely had her, her not so great qualities, but she was powerful. And I loved the fact that she said at one point, I'll never go hungry again. When she dug up a turnip, there was nothing else to eat. And she ate a turnip and she was like, this is not happening. And she took control of her life. And I just found that was the earliest vision I ever had of a really powerful woman saying, I'm taking control of my life. And that has stuck with me. And because of seeing the movie when I was like 7 or 8 years old, I read the book and just fell in love with her as a character. Uh, so, yeah, that's my favorite personal book.
Wow. I can see that. I never saw it that way, but you are so right. She is the woman that you can look at and say, she stood up for herself.
She
She
did.
she did.
She did. She went out and she started a sawmill and she became, in the book, she became one of the most successful um, sawmill business owners in the area, and that was in a time where women didn't do business. She was unapologetic. She's like, nobody else, I can't trust anybody else to do this, and this is my family, this is my future. And I grew up in the South, so we were programmed is not the right word. I
We
mean,
were programmed. I'm
yes,
a
I love
Southern
my
girl.
exactly right. I love my Southern upbringing, and I love that I learned to be polite and respectful, but also in that, like, girls don't speak up, right? So there's a beautiful side to it, but there's also a very negative side that I grew up as a people pleaser, and I grew up, giving everybody else space, but not ever taking up space of my own. And so I think she that character imprinted on me because she was the exact opposite of who I was. I was a people pleaser until I was like 48, 49 years old. I'm 50, almost 52. So to see somebody and embrace herself and not apologize, and know that people don't like you. I mean, that is wisdom to me, is being yourself and being comfortable in your own skin, knowing that other people don't like you, but that's okay. You're not for everybody. You are for the people that resonate with you. And so that is a powerful personal lesson for women, but especially women who grew up in the South and feel like everybody has to like them. But it's also a really empowering lesson for entrepreneurship because not everybody is going to like you. Everyone, every business owner, male or female, is going to have detractors. And as women, I think we personalize that and we internalize that to our own detriment. And we just have to learn to say, it's okay. I'm not for everybody. that's powerful. And I think once you can attain that level of self-awareness and self-knowledge, you have grown into the kind of person who can own a successful business. But you got to develop that thick skin, and it's hard. It's hard.
Oh my God, you just brought up two great points. So I'm going
Mhm.
to go back and marry one of them. I'm marrying one of them, and then I'll go back and say the other. So
Okay.
the fact that you have a program that is in your hands,
Mhm.
that you have control over, and
Mhm.
you have the knowledge to implement it into your business is the
Mhm.
same exact thing that Scarlett O'Hara did.
That's
She
true.
had to have that control and make
Yeah.
sure that
Mhm.
nobody else can do what she has.
Yeah, yeah. It's, part of it is not trusting other people. Um, and that I don't want to say I don't trust anybody, but I have always wanted to be an independent woman. I have always wanted to make my own money and not be someone who depended on a spouse. I cannot tell you how many people I know who've gotten divorced or whose husbands passed away, my friends' parents whose husbands passed away, and they had no idea what the bank accounts were, how to access them, how to pay bills, what bills were necessary to be paid. I never wanted to be that person. I always wanted to know and be in control of. I sound like a control freak, don't I? I'm really
No,
not.
I'm the same way. I have to know what's going on.
Yes,
If I don't
yes.
know what's going on, how can I make sure it's going to run smoothly?
Exactly. It's about taking ownership and taking responsibility. And I'm a firstborn, and if you are into that whole thing, yep, firstborns. You follow the rules, you do everything, you live up to expectations, and you take responsibility for everything. You take things very personally, and I do. That's one of my biggest faults. I take things very personally, but I also take responsibility because I feel like if I step into a position, whether it's my business or another business or helping a social media client, I am taking responsibility for the success or failure of that. And so I do take that very seriously. So it's about knowing yourself well enough to say, I don't need someone else to take care of me. I am perfectly capable of taking care of myself. And that is incredibly empowering.
That is that's exactly what it is. And as a female entrepreneur, that's what women are going for. That's what I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
the next thing you said was, you're not for everyone. You
Mhm.
know what? I used to think, because growing up, I was a nerd. I still am a nerd. It's okay. I
Yeah,
had
me too.
braces,
Me
big
too.
glasses, red hair. Come on. So
I love your hair, Angel.
one of the biggest girls in the classroom. Come on. So
Right?
So basically, I mean, I was a little shunned probably. That wasn't
Mhm.
everybody's jam. But,
Mhm.
I felt like I needed to be everybody's jam. As I've
Mhm.
grown and gotten older, and
Mhm.
I realized that, it's okay. I'm not
Mhm.
their jam. They're
Absolutely.
not my jam.
Mhm.
I have a crazy wild personality. I love it. It's who
And
I
people love you. I think you're more people's jam than you realize. But, I think one of the hardest lessons, especially for girls who grew up in the South, I used to think this, and it shocks me now saying it. It like gives me chills and shocks me to the core. I used to walk into a room and think, and I think somehow being part of a Southern community, we are somehow programmed this way, although I don't think it's intentional. I think it's unintentional. But I used to walk into a room and think, will they like me? And that was my biggest fear, right? Will they like me? And now I don't know what's changed. Something happened during COVID. I think because we were also isolated for so long. Now I walk into a room and I think, will I like them? And that's not a put down. It's not a, derogatory question. It's no longer being the person who tries so hard to be liked. Now it's more about making a connection with another person. If I make that connection, that's great. I love that, but I don't feel the need to try so hard to be liked. And that, I think, especially for women, I think that is beautiful. And I think it's a sign of wisdom.
Yep. I was blessed to learn at a very early age. Not
Mhm.
everybody's going to like you, deal with it.
Yeah, yeah,
And I learned how to deal with it at a very young age, very young age. So I love the
that's
fact that you're saying
brilliant.
that. Huh?
It's good that you learned that at a young age. I didn't learn it until I was in my late 40s, and I'm still struggling with it. So, um, yeah, those hard times, being shunned, looking different, um, taught you a very, very valuable life lesson early on. And it took me a lot of decades to learn that lesson. So, yeah, we all come into our own when we're supposed to, right? We all have our own unique path. But I think when you learn that lesson, that you are only going to really connect with certain people, that's okay. I would much rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. I would rather have four really good friends than 100 acquaintances, right?
Definitely.
Because it's value, it's quality over quantity.
Yep. I love it. That is so true. All right. So let's get grooving a little bit. What's your
Yeah.
favorite song or
Oh
song?
gosh, I have a couple.
Give it to
Let's
me.
see. Give one to you. The Champion by Carrie Underwood. Love that song. Love it. When I need a power puff, when I am feeling weak and I need to feel really good about myself, I definitely love listening to that song. It pumps me up. And then I love Overwhelmed by Tim McMorris. I think that's his name. That's a really sappy song. I love it. But 80s, 90s, Overwhelmed by Tim McMorris. Yeah. Um, I love all music, and there's nothing better than listening to a playlist just to get you going and pumped up. And music, actually, I used to run power hours for um, a social media coach, and we would start off our power hours by dancing, getting up and dancing. And that really gets people out of, especially in the network marketing space or any space where you're selling and you're reaching out to people, it gets those endorphins going. So get up and dance and then sit down and do the work, and you'll be so much more productive. So that's my tip.
I love it. You've given us a few quotes already throughout. You sprinkled us really well. Do you
I
have a
told you I'm a quote person.
I know.
I do. A favorite quote. Um, I just came across this one the other day. Every day you have a choice between challenge and comfort. Only one of those rewards you with outrageous success. And unfortunately, I don't know where I got that quote. I found that years ago and I turned it into a quote image that I posted on social media years ago, but I just stumbled across it earlier this week. And oh gosh, it is so, I mean, honestly, that's the hardest thing in the world for most of us is to choose that challenge over that comfort every single day. And if you can do that and do that every day for a short period of time, if you can hustle and grind really hard for a short period of time, that success that you really want will be there. But you've got to choose the challenge. You've got to do the hard things. And I think one of the mantras of my later life, the last few years, has been I can do hard things. I think we all need to um, internalize that. I can do hard things because so many of us quit when things get hard.
Love it. You're right. We do. We just give up instead of
We do.
punching through it and just saying, okay, we got to just keep going.
Giving up is really easy, right? But then you're going to have that gnawing. If you've been called to something bigger, it giving up, you're always going to have that gnawing in the back of your head. They say, this is another silly quote, but they say that the graveyard is the most expensive piece of real estate because that's where a lot of dreams die before people have the courage to chase their dreams. And I think one of the things I've learned through my own entrepreneurial journey is the motivation and the courage sometimes comes after the action. So I learned in college, I took a voice and diction class. I don't even know why I did. It was part of my communications curriculum, but um, he said to be brave I can remember this like it happened yesterday. That's like 25 years ago. To be brave, you have to act brave. And so to be successful, you have to act successful. To get the prize, you have to put in the work. And so sometimes the action and the motivation comes, or sometimes the motivation and the success and the feeling, the desire to get it done comes long after you've taken the action. So my advice to anyone, male, female, young, old, do it, do it. And then you will be able to look back on what you've done and be proud of yourself. Don't let your dreams die. Keep chasing them.
I love that. I love about taking action. So with taking action, do you have a giveaway or a call? What do you have for them today?
Oh my gosh, you know what? What a great thought. I do social media audits, and they include a look at two different social media profiles, so two different platforms, and a 15-minute strategy call with me. And I would be happy to offer that to someone for free. And in fact, we can do a 30-minute strategy call. So I look at your social media, I type up a nice report, and we meet to kind of talk about your challenges and what can be done differently to create the kind of success that you want. I'm happy to offer that to somebody.
Oh wow, that's great. So, and we're going to have a link for that. How can they get that?
I will give you my social media handle. They can just DM me. And oh, let's see, how would we work it if it was a prize? The first person to DM me and say audit can get the social media audit. Or maybe I'll do this. I'll pick one at random. How's that? Just DM me the word audit. My social media handle is at the Mimi Sheffer. At the Mimi Sheffer. You can also, I have social media profiles that are marketing with Mimi. So you can send it to either one of those profiles, marketing with Mimi or at the Mimi Sheffer. Send me the word audit and I will pick someone at random.
I love that. That is perfect.
It's a
Perfect.
lot of fun. And people learn so much through those audits. So yeah, I'm happy to offer that.
That's awesome. They're going
Thank
to
you for
have
the
fun.
opportunity.
Yeah. So, is there anything we haven't talked about that you would love to say today,
Oh my gosh.
or a question you wish I would have asked?
That's great. I think I just want to reiterate that deep inside, you were given a dream, an aspiration, a vision of what your life could be like. And I think a lot of us spend a lot of time worrying that we aren't capable of making that dream or that aspiration or that vision come true. And I would also say that each one of you watching this is given unique skills, personalities, talents, abilities. And so your dream is tied to the unique skills and abilities that you have. Use what you have and create the life you want.
I love it. I love it. Well, Mimi, I love talking to you. Oh my God, you gave so much incredible knowledge. It was a gift having you here. And I know everybody's going to fall in love with you. I can't wait to see you inside the magazine. You're so gorgeous anyway. So,
I love you, Angel. I love catching up. It was so great to see you and spend time with you. And I just really appreciate this honor. I'm truly humbled and honored. Um, so thank you. Thank
well,
you.
thank
You're a
you.
gift to the world, my friend. I love
And
you.
you are too. I mean, you have something that everybody needs because everybody struggles with that who's an entrepreneur. And I love it. So, all
Thank
right.
you. I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, You have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.